Good morning, everyone. We are here on November 7th, 2020 at the Riptide Intra-Squad Return to Racing meet. This is the 11 and 12-year-old session. We are about 2 to 3 minutes out from announcements and about 7 or 8 minutes out from the start of the meet. So once if you're watching online after the fact, the recorded session, you can pop ahead in that until you see the American flag. And once you see the American flag pop up, then we'll be just about ready to go. So I'm going to go on mute for now, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second session of Riptide's November Intra-Squad Meet. We are so excited that you are here with us today. Our swimmers have been working very hard, and our coaches are looking forward to seeing you display all the tools they have been learning in and out of the water. Spectators, we ask that you cheer as loudly as possible to show these hardworking swimmers how proud we are of them. We would like to remind all of you that health and safety of our swimmers, coaches, officials, volunteers, and spectators is of the utmost importance to us, and we appreciate your patience and understanding in complying with the safety protocols while in attendance
Okay, again, welcome. We are starting with the announcements. The national anthem will come up shortly. We'll pause for that, of course. And then we will move on to the first event today, which is going to be event number 8, the 11-12 100-yard IM. Be right back with you.
Coaches, officials, and volunteers, please use the restroom in the mezzanine pool. Spectators, you will use the restrooms on the mezzanine level. No cell phones or cameras are allowed behind the starting blocks. Please remain quiet at the start of each race. Flash photography is prohibited at blue wall. At the end of the session, officials, swimmers, coaches, volunteers, and spectators will all exit through the front lobby doors. This meet is held under the sanction of USA Swimming, and our officials for this morning are Teresa Jurish, meet referee, Aaron Stiers, meet starter, and Deb Rizzo, meet captain. A huge thank you to them, as well as all the coaches and volunteers for pulling off today's meet. We appreciate you. At this time, everyone please rise and face the flag at the starting end of the pool for the playing of our national anthem.
Okay, we are about to get started here. Again, this is the November 7th. This is session number 2, the 11 and 12-year-old session. You can also find this on Meet Mobile under 2020 MN Ripped November-Return to Racing, or tap Meet Near Me, and you should be able to find it.
Lane 5, Megan. Lane 6, Emma.
Our first event, again, is the mixed 11 and 12 100-yard IM. We've got Lauren Keeker in 2, Xander Ray in 3, Claire Craig in 4, Megan Corwin in 5, and Emma Leonard in 6. We've got a couple of 4 no times in here, so possibly 4 kids who haven't swam this event. All 4 are 12-year-olds. Claire is our one 11-year-old. We're actually missing lane number 3. It looks like Xander might not be here today. We've got about a dozen fans in the stands. We've got about that many on the live stream right now. Apologize for the sun bouncing off the top of the pool back there in lanes 4 and 5 and 6. Till that sun gets a little higher in the sky, that edge of the pool is going to be a little tough to see. I did bring up another camera, which doesn't get quite the whole pool, but as you can see, tones down a little bit of that glare, but not a whole lot. So right now in lane number 4, crossing in front of you, is Claire Krieg. She's got the early lead. Out in lane number 2, not far behind her, is Lauren Keeker. Making the turn into the breaststroke in lane number 5 is Megan. And Emma Leonard just a few body lengths ahead of her. And turning into the freestyle here in lane 4, Claire is making her way for home. Lauren making her turn. Claire is entered at a 1:49. She's going to crush that time at a 1:30. Well, she's about a 1:32 probably. Check, excuse me, later on, probably in the next few minutes, make sure you check Meet Mobile for that official time. The time you see up in front of you in the board, that 1:33.12, will probably change. It'll probably be a little bit lower. Lauren in lane number 2 touches at 1:44.21. And coming in on her final few strokes is Megan. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Emma, and Emma had a soft touch as well, so make sure you check Meet Mobile on that one. And we've got Megan coming in with her last few yards here as well. And she touches with a soft touch. So, again, parents, check Meet Mobile. That will give you the official times here in just a little bit. Those times on the board are not official times. They're going to get about a 50-yard cool down here before the next heat comes up. We have a call out for Lyric. Lyric is in the next heat in lane number 6 of this 100 IM. So go Lyric. So happy I get to watch you. Love Dad. Lane says go Lyric. Yeah, it's fun. I'm glad that Riptide can bring you this. It sure helps, especially in these days of COVID when we can't get anybody in the stands. We got another shout out for streaming this. You're welcome. Again, it's my pleasure. It's a lot of fun to do. It's a long day, but it is fun. All right, they are done. Heat 1 is complete. We're going to move on to heat number 2 of 2. So we've got Alexandra Thobson in 1, Lucy Werdick in 2, Molly Hulting in 3, Franny Anderson in 4, Caroline Fowler in 5, Lyric Showalter in 6, Jalen Young in 7, and Colin Franchik in 8.
Alexandra, lane 1. Lucy, lane 2. Molly, lane 3. Francis, lane 4. Caroline, lane 5. Lyric, lane 6. Jalen, lane 7. Colin, lane 8.
All right, looks like we got a full heat here. Got the first set of whistles. Next one, we'll call them onto the blocks. Get a long whistle. And up they go. Oh, well, we got a couple of false starts here. Don't know if there'll be any DQs. We'll have to wait and see. And they're going to let them back up on the block. Good. We'll try it again. They're so excited to get in the water. There they go. Now we got a clean start. And heat number 2 of the 100-yard IM. And right off the bat in lane number 4, Franny Anderson is taking the body length lead, touching, going to the backstroke. The next 3 or 4 behind her are close. Everybody fighting for that second position right now. The IM is the true tell of where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are. So if you look here, lane number 5, Caroline Fowler has caught up to Franny in that backstroke a little bit, and now they turn into the breaststroke. Riptide is big on those bucket turns, on those crossover turns, I should say. It's a crossover turn. They've been teaching all the younger kids that. But Franny has pulled out to about 2 to 3 body lengths now. The breaststroke turning to the freestyle. Caroline's going to turn next with the third place group, lanes 2, 3, and 6 close behind. Franny is entered at a 1:13.17. She's going to better that probably just a little bit here by 3/100ths of a second, so she drops a little bit of time. Caroline Fowler entered at 1:21.86, and she's going to touch at 1:18.45. So nice times across the board. Lucy entered at a 1:28.10 in lane number 2, 1:22 flat, so nice 6-second drop there. Lane 3, 1:21.29, down from 1:23.95. That's Molly Halting. Alexandra in lane number 1 at 1:36.18, drops 10 seconds, about 9.5 seconds, down to 1:26.80. Out in lane 6, Lyric comes in at 1:24.31, down about 3 full seconds. Lane 7, Jalen, 1:29.78, down from 1:34.05, so a nice 3-second drop there, 4-second drop. And in lane 8, Colin Franchik, 1:36.86, down from 1:41.68. We had a full 8 lanes of drops there. Up next is event number 9, the mixed 11-12 200-yard freestyle. Looks like we have all 5 kids over there lined up against the windows. We have Maisie Sadlick. Her sister swam last night in the open sessions. She is in lane number 2. Kiana Loberg in lane 3. In lane 4, Isabel Gehrman. In lane 5, Mackenzie Schroeder in lane 5. And in lane 6, Hannah Stuckey. We have a shout out from Puerto Rico watching Isabel Strafford today. Watching Isabel Strafford. Brent Loberg says, kick a little. That's what they need to do. This 200 freestyle, they got to keep their legs under them all the time. It's fun to see people coming in from across the country and across the world. We had Australia last night. I think we've had Puerto Rico before, but we've had Asia Pacific. We've had Europe. So it's pretty exciting. It's pretty fun to see people from all over watching their relatives swim. Here they go on the first heat of 2 in the 200 freestyle. We don't have any no times here, so everybody here has swam this in the past. First turn out there in lane number 3. Kiana has taken the early lead. And she will keep that lead, making the first turn at the 50. Close behind her in lane number 2 is Maisie Sadlick. See them crossing the middle of the pool right now. Try to get some better cameras here in the future to pick up some. It's a little bit dark on that other shot, but it's first time. Today's the first day I've used that camera, so I wasn't sure what to expect. Lane number 3, still holding tough, is Kiana. She's entered at a 2:45.18. Isabel Gehrman has the top seed here at 2:41.85. Currently she is running in just about 4th place. Mackenzie Schroeder out there in lane number 5, and Hannah Stuckey bringing it up right behind them in lane number 6. Maisie has made a little bit of a move on Kiana. She's hanging tough with her. But don't count out lane number 5. Mackenzie is sneaking up slowly. And going into the final turn, we still have Maisie and Kiana leading the pack. Mackenzie has made up some time here. But it looks like that first place in this heat is going to be between Maisie and Kiana. And if my eyes don't deceive me, it looks like Kiana may have taken over the lead just by a little bit right now up there in lane 2. Kiana entered at 2:51.70, and they are head-to-head, and they are fighting for the winner of this heat. And it is going to be close. But I think Maisie is going to just pull it out, and she does, at a 2:28.29. So great time for her. Kiana drops a bunch of time down to 2:29.04. Isabel Gehrman from 2:41.85 down to 2:36.06, so she drops a nice 4 to 5 seconds. Mackenzie out in lane number 5, 2:32.74 down from 2:42.21. And in lane number 6, Hannah Stuckey, we'll have to check Meet Mobile on that one. I don't think she went 1:58.99. I believe that was a soft touch. We'll have to check that one later on. If that is her time, Mike Parado will be welcoming her into the senior elite group. But we'll check that out. We got heat number 2 of 2. Looks like we got another full group here. So we've got Neva Feinstack in lane number 1, Amy Birmingham in 2, Katie Rucci in 3, Taylor Hintz in 4, Isla George in 5, Lucas Paul in 6. Lane 7 is Abigail Olson, and lane 8 is Jenna O'Keefe. As heat number 1 files out from behind the blocks, they go over, if you look off to the right, you'll see the coaches sitting at the white tables. They each will take 1 to 2 of the kids, talk to them a little bit about their races. And as they exit, the next group will enter. Our top seed here is Taylor with a 2:15.61. She is an 11-year-old. And then the second seed is Isla with a 2:23.69. About 21 people on the live stream, so welcome. Thank you again. My name is Carl Kinseth. I'm a parent of 2 up in the senior elite group with Mike Parado, and then I'm also a part-time coach and a high school coach over at Egan. They are off, and in lane 5 right away, Isla is making a run, and she will flip with Taylor Hintz, who is out in lane number 4. As they come out of the glare, those two are head-to-head, and they are going for it. Yeah, lane 7, Abigail Olson is hanging tight with them as well. And at the first 50, we are still head-to-head with Abigail hanging again just off their feet right now. Lucas has made up a little bit on Abigail. We also have lane number 2 up here. Amy Birmingham is hanging with Abigail and Lucas out there. She's just making her turn as they come into the 100. Taylor is now pulled ahead with about a body length lead on Isla, and a couple of body lengths on the rest of the field. So Taylor's going to make her turn at the 100. About a 103 high to 104 low for that split. And she continues to open up her lead. And there goes Taylor through the middle of the pool, heading to the 150. Isla about 3 or 4 body lengths behind. And as she makes her final turn, Taylor is on to her 200. Again, apologize for this shot. It's a little bit dark. The sun really messes with the cameras. But here we come. Taylor's coming in on her final few yards for the 200 freestyle. Again, entered at 2:15.61, and she's going to drop some time at 2:13.54. Comes Isla in lane number 5, entered again at 2:23.6, and she's going to drop about 3.5 seconds. Very nice swims all around. Big time cuts. Jenna O'Keefe out there in lane number 8, 2:28.23, down from 2:41.55. Neva has a nice time at 2:31.09, down from 2:35.50. Amy Birmingham, 232.57, down to a 221.09. Katie Rucci, a little bit off, but not too bad, just a couple of seconds, second and a half. Lucas in lane 6, 222.92, down from 229.17, so a very big drop there. And I don't know if I mentioned Abigail Olson in lane 7, 223.04, down from 233.20, so that's a big 10-second drop there. All right, up next we have one heat, 3 kids in the mixed 11-12 50-yard fly. In lane number 3, Puerto Rico will be excited about this, Isabel Scrafford. In lane 4, Olivia Howie, and in lane 5, Madeline Jenin.
Event 10, mixed 50-yard butterfly. Isabel, lane 3. Olivia, lane 4. Maddie,
After this event, before event number 11, there's going to be a 10-minute break. Give these kids a little bit of a rest. Some of them are doing 2-3 events in a pretty short amount of time. This will only be an hour and 45-minute meet. And that includes the breaks. So again, lane 3 is Isabel Scrafford, lane 4, Olivia Howie, and in lane 5, Madeline Jenin. They are off on 2 lengths of the butterfly. And right out of the gate, Olivia Howie has taken a pretty commanding lead of this group. She has entered at a 31.69, so that's a pretty good time for a 12-year-old. We'll see what she can do here. Maybe she can break that coveted 30-second mark. Every kid looks forward to that in the 50 freestyle, and then when they finally do it, they're so happy. But if they can do it in the 50 fly, they're even happier. But she's not going to do that today. She's 32.31. A little bit of an ad, but not too bad. I don't purposely mean to rhyme. In lane number 5, coming in that second position, 37.99 is Madeline, down from 38.94. And Isabel Scrafford for Rosanna out there in Puerto Rico has a nice little drop from 41.63 down to 39.37. So they're going to go on their 25 cool down here. And then I believe we're going to go to the 10-minute break. This is where Amy starts playing music, and that's when I have to go mute. But don't fret, we will be back. Cecilia Scrafford yells out, "Go Isabel." Isabel did have a great swim there, a couple-second drop. Just waiting for Amy to start up the music here. But Cecilia is watching from Kansas. Welcome from Kansas, welcome from Puerto Rico, and welcome from wherever else you are today. It's great to see all you coming in from different parts of the world. All right, we're starting our 10-minute break. We'll be back with you soon. All right, it looks like we are pretty close to getting back at it.
Event 11.
Yep, there goes the announcer. So that tells me we're ready to go. Up next is the 11-12 100-yard butterfly. This is event number 11. There is only one heat. We have a shout out from Georgia for Alona Delaney, who is in lane 2. In lane 3 is Lily Sisson. Lane 4, Maddie Wenzel. Lane 5, Caroline Fowler. Lane 6, William Radetsky. And in lane 7, Josephina Dew.
Heat 1.
All right, they're off with a clean start. 100-yard butterfly. We got Go Maddie from Reggie Burrish. Go Maddie Wenzel. Out in lane number 6, William Radetsky takes the early lead at the 25. The rest of the group turns right about all the same time after that first 25 yards. And William turns first at the 50. In lane number 4, Maddie Wenzel making her turn. And with 2 lengths left, they are on their way home. Actually, I called out Josephina. It looks like she's not here with us today. So lane number 7 is open. William is coming in. He has a no time on this, and he is going to be a 107.82. Next to touch will be Maddie Wenzel. She's entered at a 125.01, and she's going to go 116.46. Next to touch from there in 5 is Caroline Fowler, entered at a 132.92. She drops about 10 seconds. So she has a really, really, really nice swim. And Alona, with a no time, comes in at 130.86. Really great time drops. Up next is the 50-yard backstroke, event number 12. We've got another Go Alona from Illinois. And Alona, she brought it today. That 130.86 is a very nice time for a first-time flyer, first-time 100 flyer. Again, up next, 50-yard backstroke, event number 12. There are 2 heats. I have 3 people listed, but I'm only showing 2 up against the windows over there.
Event 12. Mixed 50-yard backstroke. Lane 3, Annika. Lane 4, Xander. Lane 5.
If you are a fan of Alona, you're going to see her again very quickly. She's in heat number 2 of the 50-yard backstroke. So she jumps right out of the 100 fly. She's just off to the side with the coaches, and she's going to hang off to the side of the blocks, and she's going to load up for the 50-yard backstroke in heat number 2. So wait for her there. So yes, we are missing Xander in lane 4. So lane 4 will be empty. We have Annika Sachaki in lane number 3. I hope I didn't totally tear apart that last name. And in lane 5, Lauren Keeker. Annika, an 11-year-old with no time, and Lauren, a 12-year-old with no time. Oh, we got Sachaki family. Again, I hope that's pronounced right. I don't know. But we've got Go Annika and Lauren Cousins competing in the same event. That is exciting. That is exciting. We had some events last night where we had brother-sister combinations going in the same heat. All right, Lauren in lane 5. She touches first. That's a soft touch, so check Meet Mobile, please. And in lane number 3, Annika with a 48.30. All right, up next is heat number 2, the 50-yard backstroke. In lane number 1 will be Eden Wolf. Lane 2, Isabel Gehrman. Lane 3, Mackenzie Schrader. Lane 4, Taylor Hintz. Lane 5, Abigail Olson. Lane 6, with about one heat's worth of rest, is Alona Delaney. And in lane number 7 is Jalen Young. And it looks like we've got all of them over there lined up against the windows.
Eden, lane 1. Isabel, lane 2. Mackenzie, lane 3. Taylor, lane 4. Abigail, lane 5. Alona, lane 6. Jalen, lane 7. Heat 2.
All right, this entire heat is veterans of the 50-yard backstroke. Everybody has swam it. Everybody's got a time. And all of them are shooting for a better time. Lane number 4, Taylor has taken the early lead. Abigail Olson right on her heels. They're going to flip close to the same time. Taylor with a slight lead. Turning to come home. And Abigail is hanging tight with Taylor, so this is going to be a race to the end. Taylor's got a little bit of a lead, about 2 feet. And Taylor is going to touch first at 33.87, so she has a nice little drop. Abigail at 34.53, down from 36.02. So lane 1 with Eden Wolf, bit of a soft touch out there. So Meet Mobile is where you need to go. In lane 2, Isabel Gehrman, the 30, coming in at 39.7. She went 41.02, so she only added about 0.3, or about a second to that one. Mackenzie Schrader, 39.89. Entered at a 37.97, so a little bit of an ad there. Abigail in lane 5, 34.53, down from 36.02, so a nice drop for her. Alona in lane 6, 38.12. That 52.79 is not right. So again, we'll have to check Meet Mobile for the official results. And in lane 7, you have Jalen Young, 41.86 down to a 40.78. So a good full second drop there for Jalen. Up next is event number 13. This is the 500-yard freestyle. Looks like we have 5 brave souls in this event. 500, of course, is the stepping off point for the 1,000 and the mile. The kids will do the 200 freestyle and look at the 500 as this 6-mile, swim, and then they swim it. That wasn't so bad. Then they see the same way as the 1,000, right? The 1,000 is the worst thing possible. It's way too long. Then they swim it. That wasn't so bad. But then the mile is the one that is very. People have their thoughts on that, but kids either love it or they hate it. There's nobody in between who's like, it's just okay. So here you get the 500 freestyle. This is 20 lengths. They have counters at the other end, as you can see. We will count them from 1 to 17, and then orange is 19. That tells them that's their final length. In lane number 2 is Isabel Scrafford. Lane number 3 is Olivia Howie. Lane 4, William Radetsky. Lane 5, Lucas Paul. And in lane 6 is Liam Weifring. 500 freestyle is one where you don't necessarily want to sprint your first 50 or 100 because you still have 400 to 450 yards left. So William out in the lead at the 50. He has entered at 5:40.02. He's got the top seed here. Isabel Strafford entered at 7:37.61. Olivia Howie entered at 6:50.56. Lucas Paul entered at 6:41.35. And Liam Weefring entered at 7:03.90. And turning at the 150 is William. He's got 350 yards left. A bit of a battle here in lane 6 and lane 3 between Liam and Olivia. Hanging tough together. Up there in lane 5, Lucas not far behind them. And Isabel hanging there with Lucas. There is the 200 mark for William. So he is 8 lengths in with 12 left to go. The mile actually is later on this afternoon. It will be the final event of the open session in the meet that starts at 4 o'clock. So you've got the 500, which is 20 lengths. You have the 1,000. Of course, this is all short course. The 1,000 is 40 lengths, and the mile is 66 lengths of the pool. In long course, the 500 is 400 meters. The 1,000 is 800 meters, and the mile, or 1650, is 1,500 meters. We still got a pretty good battle here in the middle of the pool for second place between lanes 3, 5, and 6. William is coming up on the end of his 12th length, which is a 300, making his turn. He's got 200 yards left to go. Olivia, Lucas, and Liam all hanging tight together. William is about to lap them, which means he goes up by a 50 on them. So you can see at the end of the pool, he's coming into the 15th turn, or I should say the 15th 25, and they are coming into the 13th 25. So he is a full 2 lengths ahead of that group that he just passed. There they go. Again, I apologize, this one's a little bit dark, but you get the idea. All right, there is number 17 for William. He's going to get the bell lap. This is when the referee comes to the end of the pool. And actually part of that bell fell in the pool last night during the 500s. And she will ring it for the person who is in first place at the final turn. So in that case, this is William. He's making his go for home. If you look and you can see it at the other end of the pool, you'll see the red or the orange marker there, and that tells him this is his last length. And there he goes, making his final turn. Again, he's entered at 5:40.02, and he could better that. He's going to be pretty close. Actually, he's going to better that. He's not going to be close. He really gave it his all on this last 25. So he's going to be in at 5:31.67. He drops another 9 seconds. A great little swim right there. This next group coming in of Olivia, Lucas, and Liam are making their final turns, and you'll see them turn to red down there. And Isabel makes her final turn. Well, we got a pretty good battle out in 5 and 6 between Lucas and Liam, turning at the exact same time. And Liam has turned on the jets here. You can see his stroke speed up. Lucas has done the same now. And we are going to battle it out for that third place shot. And Lucas touches him out in a 6:23.17. Big drop there. Liam, 6:23.60. That's a huge drop, 40 seconds. And Isabel Scrafford makes the final touch at 6:36.62, down from 7:37. So she dropped over a minute in that event. Great swims all the way across the board. All right, before event number 14, we've got another 10-minute break. Event 14 is the 100 backstroke. There will be 3 heats. And that is our second to last break of the morning. There will be another one before event number 17. So I'll leave you with that. We will return in about 10 to 11 minutes.
14 minutes.
All right, here we go. Announcer is kicking off event number 14, which means we are ready for event number 14. This is the 11 and 12 100-yard backstroke. 3 swimmers. Emma Leonard in 3, Claire Krieg in 4, and Josephina Dew in 5. Looks like a first-time swim for Emma. The other 2 are grizzled veterans. They are off. Emma on her first ever 100 backstroke, it looks like. There are 3 heats in this event. This event was to start at 9:44, so we are about 5 minutes ahead of schedule. Taking a slight lead there in lane number 4 is Claire. Entered at a 1:39.64. Followed closely behind by Josephina in lane 5. Entered at a 1:48.72. And Emma making her turn at the 50. That glare is still wreaking havoc on our cameras here for this other shot. And coming in for her final few yards, passing under the flags, is Claire Krieg. Again, entered at 1:39.64. She's going to touch at 1:27.06. Nice big drop for her. Next up is Josephina. She was entered at 1:48.7. She's going to be 1:35.67. 13-second drop there. And here comes Emma, passing under the flags as well. With about 2 yards left to go, and she is going to touch at 1:51.49. They're going to get their little 25 cool down here, and then we'll move on to heat number 2. In lane number 2, we're going to have Colin Franchik. Lane 3, Lyric Showalter. Lane 4, Kiana Loberg. Lane 5, Lucy Werdick. Lane 6, Molly Halting. And in lane 7, Maisie Sadlick. Waiting for that heat to exit from behind the blocks, so heat 2 can make their way up. Again, 3 heats in this. This is heat number 2. And into the water they go. Looks like we got our full heat here. 6 swimmers. And really nice underwaters there by Lyric and Kiana. Kiana's got the early lead out there in lane number 4. She's going to turn first at the 25. Followed closely behind by Lyric Showalter. Has opened up about a body length lead here right now, and will turn first at the 50 again, talking about Kiana. That battle for second place is working out right in front of your eyes there. You can see from this shot, Kiana taking off there, and then the middle group all vying for that second position. And then we have Colin down in lane 2. Top seed is Kiana at a 1:22.43. Making her final turn. The second group all making their turn about the same time. Again, 1:22.43 is the time Kiana is looking to better. And she will do that. She's going to touch it a 1:18.51. And lane number 6, which is Molly Halting, touching at second at 1:23.92, so she has a 7-second drop. Colin finishing it up in lane 2. Looks like he had a soft touch, so I'll check that time later on. Lyric in 3 at 1:24.98, down from 1:25.30, so she drops about 0.3 of a second. Again, Kiana, we went over. Lucy in lane number 5, 1:24.67, down from 1:24.77, so she dropped a 1/10 of a second. And we did Molly. Molly was out in lane number 6, 1:30.85, down to 1:23.92, and then finishing it up is Maisie Sadlick, out in lane number 7 at 1:24.23, a nice 13-second drop, 13-plus second drop, down from 1:37.60. Up next is heat number 3. And by my count, it looks like we have all 8 swimmers over there against the windows. In lane number 1, we have Katie Rucci. Lane 2, Jenna O'Keefe. Lane 3, Eva Feinstack. Lane 4, Franny Anderson. Lane 5, Isla George. Lane 6, Maddie Wenzel. Lane 7, Lily Sisson. And in lane number 8 is Amy Birmingham. Your top seed is Franny with a 1:14.56.
Lane 1, Jenna. Lane 2, Neva. Lane 3, Francis. Lane 4, Isla. Lane 5, Maddie. Lane 6, Lily. Lane 7, Amy. Lane 8. Heat 3.
We got to go Lily Sisson from Grandma and Grandpa in Walker, Minnesota. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's where the Eel Pelt Festival is every year. Is that correct? Neva down there in lane 3. I coached her a little bit in senior 1. She is, you know it's Neva because Neva leaves her ears out of her cap every time she swims. At the turn, lane 4 and 5 is Franny and Isla making their return first. Neva is right on their heels. Do not count out lane number 8. Lane number 8 is Amy Birmingham. She is hanging tight with that front group. Franny has pulled out to about a body length lead now from the 50, coming into their final turn. And looks like she is going to take this heat with Isla right behind her. A battle for third place, and we got Neva and Maddie and Amy. It looks like Amy's going to take that third position. She does. And there we go as they all touch. Katie Rucci in lane number 1 with a 1:20.48. She drops about half a second. Jenna O'Keefe, 1:19.35. She adds just under a second. Neva, 1:17.86 up to a 1:19.32. So she adds a little bit. Franny in lane 4, 1:12.82, so she drops about a second and a half. Lane 5, 1:15.32 for Isla. She drops a full 2 seconds from 1:17.40. Lane 6, Maddie Wenzel, entered at 1:18.17. She drops about half a second down to 1:17.87. Lily Sisson in lane number 7, entered at 1:19.02. She adds a little bit over a second in that event. And Amy Birmingham down from a 1:21.31 to a 1:17.25. A little bit of a mixed bag there, but for the most part, everybody's right on their times. All right, they will filter out from behind the blocks, and next we will have event number 15. This is the 50-yard breaststroke. Yes, to Eelpout Festival. Yes, I knew that was the Eelpout Festival, capital of the world up there. All right, in lane number 2, we have Megan Corwin. She is a no time. Lane 3, Madeline Jenin. Lane 4, Alona Delaney. Lane 5, Hannah Stuckey. Lane 6 is Eden Wolf. And in lane 7 is Xander Ray, but Xander has not been here, and Xander is still not here. So lane 7 will be empty. This is the only heat of the 50-yard breaststroke. Lane number 5 out there, Hannah Stuckey with a great start. Good twitch fiber there. Well, we got a DQ somewhere. I'm not sure what lane. Had a ref throw her arm up. You know, there's DQing in the 50 breaststroke, and then there's DQing in the longer events. The worst thing you can do is DQ in a mile and still have to swim the whole thing, and it's happened. But here we go. Lane number 5 is Hannah Stuckey. She has got about half a body length here towards the finish on Ilona. And there we go. 1, 2, and 3. Madeline touching in 3rd. And Eden touching in 4th. We've got Megan coming up here. She's about to hit the flags. And there we go. Nice job, Megan. So Megan with a no time at a 1:12.04. Madeline from a 51.44 down to a 47.2. Ilona, 46.30. So she drops about 0.4 of a second from 46.72. Hannah Stuckey in lane 5 was entered at a 47.18. She goes to a 44.45. And Eden Wolf in lane 6 entered at a 51.74, drops a full second plus down to 50.55. All right, up next, we have the 100-yard breaststroke for the 11 and 12-year-old group. By my count, we have 6, so we're missing 1. After this will be our final 10-minute break right before the 100-yard freestyle. So we've got this heat, then we've got a 10-minute break, and then we will finish up the session after that. In lane number 1 is William Radetsky. He has got a no time. Lane 2, Isabel Gehrman. Lane 3 is Liam Weefring. Lane 4 is Taylor Hintz. Lane 5 is Katie Rucci. Lane 6, Alexandra Bovson. And it looks like lane 7, Josefina, that lane will be empty. Clean start. They are off on 4 lengths of the 100-yard breaststroke. Another hand up from the ref, so it looked like another DQ there somewhere. I don't know where. Breaststroke, there are about 3,000 things that you can DQ. It's a tough stroke. It's a tough stroke to learn, and you have to do everything right, from your pullouts, from the stroke, from where your head position is. So it's hard to tell exactly where that DQ may have come from. But touching first out there in lane number 4 is Taylor Hentz. Not far behind her is William Radetsky in lane number 1. And Taylor making her final turn. William right behind her, so this is going to be an interesting final 25. Lane 1, lane 8, we call that outside smoke because nobody in the middle can see them. And they tend to sneak up every once in a while. But I think Taylor's going to hold on to take this heat. And she is at a 122.26, down from a 125.70. William had a no time, so he comes in at 123.31. We have Isabel Gehrman crossing under the flags, coming to the finish here, and she is entered at 145.54, and she's going to be 143.03, so she drops 2.5 seconds. Liam down, he was entered at a 138.98, down to a 131.41. Again, Taylor drops about 3 seconds or so, maybe 2 seconds. 3 seconds. Katie Rucci in lane number 5 comes in at 132.98, and she was entered at 132.23, so she adds a little bit, about 0.6 of a second. And Alexandra out in lane number 6, entered at a 143.78, comes in at 136.36, so she has about a 6-second drop there. All right, we got a 10-minute break here. The music has started, so I'm going to have to go mute, but we will be back with you again in about 10 minutes. coming back now. We got just a couple of minutes. We got Thriller playing over the loudspeaker, kind of Halloweeny, but we'll take it. Oh, Vincent Price. Some of you out there will probably remember Vincent Price. Up next, we have the 11-12 100-yard freestyle. There are 2 heats. And again, that was the final 10-minute break of the session. We've got the 100 free, followed by 1 heat of the 200-yard IM. And then we've got event number 19 to finish it up with 2 heats of the 50-yard freestyle. So it looks like Amy is about ready to turn Vincent Price down, turn Thriller off, and we will continue on with the 100 free. We're going to have Emma Leonard in lane number 3. She's got a no time in this event. Lane 4, Colin Franchik, entered at a 1:23.75. And in lane 4, Annika Sachaki with a no time.
Event 17, mixed 100-yard freestyle.
I think we're still missing a timer. I believe she's coming now. So once we get her set, we'll get the 3 kids coming over for their 100 freestyle. So about 25 people on the live stream. We had about 20 last night for the open session. Thank you again for joining us. We've got 3 events left for this morning's session. Then there'll be a break before the 10 and unders start up for the mid-session, session number 3 today. Finishing up at 4 o'clock with the open session, which is the older kids, usually Mike Parado and Amy and Michelle Hopewell's groups. And they are off. On Into the Water they go. We've got to go Annika. Annika is an 11-year-old, making her turn at the 25. Colin, also an 11-year-old, and Emma, the elder of the group, at 12 years old. Colin's going to make the turn at the 50 with 2 lengths left to go. He splits out at a 38.20. If he can hold that up, he's going to drop some time, but he's got to hold it. If he negative split it, he'd get about a 116 or so. For those of you, well, it looks like Annika has lost her swim cap and her goggles. I think she lost it all. Going to put her goggles on. And she's going to go. There she goes. Got a 50 left. All right. And Colin does a fine job out there. He drops full 3 seconds from 1:23.75 to 1:20.68. I wouldn't worry about Annika's swim too much here. That little stop down here is going to cost her about 10 to 15 seconds. So not a true, obviously not a true aspect of what she can do. Emma, in a no time, touches at 1:41.55. Losing that goggles, it can be a stress on the kids. So I'd love to see them finish it up and be tough. That's what Annika is doing right now, giving it her all in the last half of that 25. She looks good right there. And she was a soft touch. So we don't know that time, but again, she's going to swim it again next time, I'm sure. It's all part of the learning process. Got our second and final heat coming up. In lane number 1 will be Madeline Jenin. Lane 2 will be Lucy Werdick. Lane 3, Olivia Howie. Lane 4 will be Franny Anderson. Lane 5, Lucas Paul. Lane 6, Caroline Fowler. Lane 7, Jenna O'Keefe. And in lane 8, Lyric Showalter. Yeah, the goggles and things like that happen all the time. It happened last night. It happens in high school meets. It happens at most levels. I won't say that it happens very often in, at the college level or above, but hopefully by then they've figured out how to keep those caps and goggles on. But at this level, it happens all the time. They learn, they grow, they figure out what's the best way for them to keep their cap and their goggles on. Franny is our top seed here. She's an 11-year-old at 106.22. Closely behind is Lucas Paul, entered at a 108.38, and he is a 12-year-old. Franny's got the slight lead of the first 25 of the turn. With Olivia Howie sitting right there with her. Lucas on the other side of her. We got a Franny sandwich here. As they are keeping in touch with her, they're going to flip. Franny flips first. 3 and 5 flip right behind her. Franny's opened up a little bit here. And we'll flip first for the final 25, coming home. Again, Franny entered at a 106.22. Olivia entered at 110.62, and Lucas at 108.38. Franny's going to touch first here at a 105.05, so she will drop a little over a second. And we will run down these. Madeline entered at a 114.34, drops about 5 seconds at a 109.63. Lucy Werdick entered at a 112.42. She hits a 109.80, a very nice drop. Olivia Howie entered at 110.62, drops to 106.51. Again, Franny down from 106.22 to 105.05. Lucas Paul in lane 5 entered at a 108.38, drops to 107.51. Caroline Fowler in lane 6 entered at a 110.91. She drops almost a full second to 110.04. Jenna O'Keefe out in lane 7 entered at 112.76, down to 110.07. About a 2.5, almost 3 second drop there. And Lyric Showalter out in lane 8 with a 112.92, down from a 117.14. So she drops a good 4+ seconds in that one. All right, as they mask up and head out to the coaches, we will go on to the 200-yard IM, event number 18. There is one heat. And we have Jalen Young in lane number 1. Neva Feinstack in 2. Lily Sisson in 3. Amy Birmingham in 4.
200-yard
Isla George in 5. Abigail Olson in 6. And Hannah Stuckey in 7.
Lily, lane 3. Amy, lane 4. Isla, lane 5. Abigail, lane 6.
Your top seed here is Amy Birmingham with a 246.75. She is followed closely behind by Isla, who is entered at 248.22. They are off. This is a 50 of each stroke. It's going to be a 50 butterfly, 50 backstroke, 50 breaststroke, and a 50 freestyle. The longest of the IM events is the 400 IM, which is 100 of each stroke, 100 butterfly, back breast, and free. And the shortest, of course, is the 100 IM, which we saw in the first event today. And that is a 25 of each stroke. So moving into the backstroke leg of this, we have lane number 6, which is Abigail Olson. And this 200M, of course, is one of those events that I think I mentioned earlier, shows off kids' strengths and weaknesses. You may have an excellent backstroker, and then that swimmer may be a not so good breaststroker, and so it kind of evens everybody out if you have a better breaststroker in another lane than backstroker. All right, into the breaststroke we go. Abigail still has a body length plus lead on the group. Lane number 4 on Amy Birmingham. Starting to even it out a little bit. Breaststroke tends to be the great equalizer. People either fall way off or catch way up. All right, so Abigail makes the first turn into the final 50. Amy is tight behind her and making her move. Neva makes her final turn, and now we've got Jalen coming in to make his final turn right now down there in lane number 1. Abigail Olson is still holding off the charge by Amy Birmingham in lane number 4. Look out in lane number 5. Here comes Isla. She's making a run, but it is going to be Abigail at a 2:46.20, so she drops about 5.5 seconds. Followed closely behind in lane number 4, which is Amy Birmingham at 2:46.54. So she drops about half a second. Jalen Young crossing under the flags right now down here in lane number 1. And he touches at 3:09.70 down from 3:44.17. So that's a big, big drop there. Neva in lane 2 entered at 2:53.36. She adds a little bit of time. Willie Sisson in 3 entered at 2:50.86, adds just under a second. Again, Amy in lane number 4, 2:46.54 down from 2:46.75, so that's a drop for her. Isla in lane 5, 2:48.54, so she adds about 0.3. Lane 6, Abigail Olson, 2:51.52 was her entered time, and she is down to 2:46.20. And Hannah Stuckey in lane number 7 entered at 3:02.57, drops to a 3:13. So a nice 2+ second drop for her as well. All right, our final event of the session is event number 19. This is going to go fast, folks. Hold on to your seats. It's a 50-yard freestyle. Got a couple of no times in this first heat. Annika Sachaki, who just swam her 100 freestyle. We'll see if she can keep her cap and goggles on this time. Hopefully she got some pointers from the coaches on that. But she's going to be in lane number 2. Megan Corwin's going to be in 3. Kiana Woberg in 4. Eden Wolf in 5. And Lauren Keeker in 6, also with a no time.
Lane 4, Eden, lane 5, Lauren, lane 6. Josephina, lane 1, heat 1.
Well, it looks like they've added Josephina to lane 1. That was not on my program. I'm not sure if she's got a time or not. Oh, got a little bit of a glitch there in lane number 1 and 2. We'll see how that plays out. And off like a shot is lane number 4. That is Kiana Loberg. She's entered at a 36.78. She looks like she's going to go for it here. Turning second over there in lane number 6 is Lauren Keeker. And here comes Kiana. She's going to take the field here pretty handily. Passing under the flags. And she's going to touch in a 31.86. So she blows that 36.78 out the door. Josephina touching right now at 39.84. Annika keeps the goggles and cap on for this 50 freestyle. She's got a soft touch, so we're not sure on that one there. In lane 3, Megan Corwin entered at a 49.99, and she's down to a 49.92. So she drops about 7/100ths of a second. Out in lane 5, Eden Wolf entered at 37.33, adds a little bit, about 7/10ths of a second. And Lauren Keeker with a no time out in lane 6 comes back in at 35.78. All right, our final heat of the session. Scheduled to start at 10:28, so we're about 8 minutes ahead of schedule. In lane number 1, we're going to have Alexandra Thobson. Lane 2, Isabel Sprafford. Lane 3, Liam Weefring. Lane 4, Mackenzie Schrader. Lane 5, Molly Hulting. Lane 6, Maddie Wenzel. Lane 7, Maisie Sadlick. And in lane 8 is Claire Craig. All right, we got a full heat. Got the first whistle. If you're not familiar, and I probably should have said this starting off the meet, but the first whistle calls them to the blocks, and the second whistle calls them onto the blocks. They are off. This is an all-out sprint. Arm turnover is big. Kick is big. And keeping the breathing to a minimum is big. So lane 4, we've got a head start here by Mackenzie. Leading the pack. Looks like Mackenzie will touch first. Mackenzie entered at a 31.61, drops to a 30.37, and winning that final heat of the session. Alexandra entered at 36.33, drops to a 34.80. Isabel entered at 33.10, drops down to a 31.78. Lane number 3, Liam entered at 31.75, drops about a half a second down to 31.38. Again, Mackenzie has that big drop. In lane 5, Molly Hulting entered at a 31.70, adds a little bit, about 4/10ths of a second. Maddie Wenzel in 6 entered at 31.83, so she drops about 3/10ths of a second down to 31.54. Lane 7, Maddie Sadlick entered at 33.23, drops down to a 31.74, great swim. And Claire Krieg entered at a 36.55. Oh, I'm glad I saw that before they cleared it. She's at a 35.16, so she drops about a second and a half. All right, I want to thank you again for joining us this morning. That ends our session number 2. Session number 3 are the 10 and unders, and I believe they start within the next hour or so. So that stream will be up if anybody is interested in watching that one. And then again, session number 4 will be the open session at 4 p.m. this afternoon, and that is basically Mike Parado, Amy Parado, and Michelle Hopewell's group, the older kids. So, thank you again. We'll sign off for now, and hopefully we'll catch you later on for another session. Thanks again.